Are we going to be able to ride the teacups? For sure, dude. What's your name? Chet, just so you and I are on the same page, you thought we were going to go to Disneyland and not ride the teacups. Sounds kind of crazy when you hear it out loud, right? I love your passion. I live for it. Trust the process, my guy.
Hey, fun fans, it's We Enjoy.
Yes.
What hijinks. We are in Las Vegas. This week we're going to be discussing Candyman Day of the Dead or Candyman 3 Day of the Dead, depending on what logo you're seeing. Eric said that it goes both ways.
Mostly they go with 3 on this one. It's Farewell to the Flesh that never officially was called 2. The actual opening title never said it. But sometimes they throw the 2 in there as well.
Don't get any of this twisted. The movie is terrible. It's not good. So we can talk about how it's billed itself all we want. This originally was going to be possibly. I mean, I think we had good intentions of making this a car podcast.
Yeah.
We had a long trip from Los Angeles to Vegas.
Longer than we expected.
Yeah, my flight got changed. I got in around 2 Los Angeles time, which is not ideal on a Friday to be going to Vegas. It's when everyone's going. So we went an alternate route through sort of the upper Palmdale, Antelope Valley areas to get to the 15. We had a long stretch, and at that point I was just like, we might as well just do it at night at the hotel when we get in, realizing that my plan was to record it with my phone. Look, we knew the audio wouldn't be great. In the past, we've actually done one.
Yeah, at least 1, maybe 2.
Let me tell you, though, I will say this. Speaking on behalf of myself, mentally, my level of tiredness right now, because it's about almost 10 o'clock here, so that means it's almost midnight for me back from where I comes from. In the car, I was sharp. I was bebopping and scatting. I was ducking and diving. I was cornholing. I was having fun. Everything was a good time. We were making ourselves laugh. There was often times when I was like, this would have been great for the podcast.
Yes.
We were being silly. We were having all the fun
I
in the
stopped
world.
him. He started talking about Candyman 3. I was like, let's just start recording. But then we didn't.
Well, there was a part when we were riffing and rioting in the car when I wanted to actually just hit record on my phone and just record a little bit of it to give people a taste of what they would have been missing later on when I sucked because I couldn't think of anything correctly and wouldn't say words right. So, but just so you know, there was a much better podcast we left behind somewhere about 4 hours ago on the road when I was a lot more lucid than I am right now. We are the Mattitude Eric. I am Matt Fowler. Say hello, Eric Goldman.
Hey, everybody. We're in a hotel room. I'm sitting right next to the air conditioning, which is important for 2 reasons. One, you might be hearing it, since we were using this mic to just record the room. So if you got some little, some background white noise of the AC, hope that's okay. And B, it's really cold blasting right at me, and we need it. It's 100 degrees here, but it's very cold next to me.
You just put a jacket on.
I did put a jacket on, this light jacket I brought.
I like rooms cold, but you also picked the bed right by it.
Well, I think it'll be fine when I'm under the covers. It's just
Would you like to get under the covers for this podcast?
I might.
Would you like me to tuck you in?
Yes, please.
And, okay, so a few things happened out on the road.
It changed. The road changes people.
We killed a man just to watch him die.
Sure.
Don't worry, he was a drifter. No, so I realized that recording by phone wasn't ideal because what I found that I have to do in the times that I've recorded with April and we're in the same room together and I'm just using my phone is that if the podcast is too long and it goes too long in the recording, I have a hard time getting it off my phone to myself without using some bizarre Dropbox method because the file's too big. So we're always stopping after from anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes and breaking it up in chunks. And that, I just didn't feel like doing that in the car. And at that time, when I had a lot more pizzazz and a lot more energy, the idea that future Matt would be tired just wasn't crossing my mind. I was just like, I'm going to feel like this forever.
Right.
Like, why would I ever deteriorate? Time has no meaning. Time has no value. So, but then the other thing was, slowly approaching was AEW Rampage. Now, originally, the time to get to Vegas maybe would have put us here in time to watch it on actual television.
And by the way, I do think we should say, if you don't follow wrestling, AEW Rampage is almost brand new weekly program AEW is doing on Friday nights.
And we will talk more about this on this weekend's We Enjoy Wrestling podcast that we'll do after SummerSlam. CM Punk was going to show up. This was more or less a done deal. It wasn't more of the rumors, oh, he's got to show up, it's in Chicago, and then he doesn't, and then it's just all the usual hullabaloo that surrounds Punk and the return to wrestling. Specifically with AEW, because they run bigger shows. All Out every year has been in Chicago, even when it started as All In. So, but this was it. This was going to be it. Tony Khan, AEW owner, said as much without saying as much. Like it was all unofficially official.
Right.
So
it was to the point that they would have caused a riot, basically, if he didn't show up.
Like,
if they
this
were
would have been...
We got you. You thought he was here.
Absolutely terrible. Now, if we're talking about people, Chicago natives, would we have objected totally if Candyman or Chucky had shown up? I think Eric and I would have been happy. I don't know about
if they were like,
else.
Here he is, your hometown hero, Charles Lee Ray.
Charles Entertainment Lee Ray. I think it would have been awesome if they came out and actually introduced CM Punk.
Right.
Or like Chucky introduced Candyman, Candyman introduced CM Punk.
Chucky's like, I have a new TV show, this guy has a new movie, and then this guy's on a wrestling TV show and this wrestling show.
So we really wanted to see this. Also, it was going to be an hour long. Last week's debut episode was only 90 minutes, so I don't actually know.
They're going to get shorter each week?
It's going to be a half hour next week. Then it'll just be like one match. I don't know what the actual runtime of Rampage is supposed to be.
Right.
At this point, it's only 2 episodes deep. But, so I figured out how to watch it on my phone in the car. So we watched that happen live. We did watch it on a very small screen. The ideal way to watch anything. It's how I'm going to watch Dune. It's also how I'm going to watch Tenet when I finally get around to it.
Sure.
Please don't tell Dunis Villeneuve.
That's his legal name now. He renamed himself.
He changed himself to Dunis. Yeah. And, and that was, you know what? It's still great. Like, we're still watching it live. It was just on a tiny matchbook. So, but yeah, goosebumps and seeing people like freak out live in tears. It was still an excellent moment. But we'll talk about that on the We Enjoy Wrestling podcast, so we won't bore people who don't care about wrestling this week on We Enjoy. Next week's main event, though, is CM Punk inspired. So next weekend, the Candyman reboot comes out. So then
it's theaters only.
Theaters only. We, depending on how it goes, we will either wait a week or 2 weeks to do the actual Candyman. We're not going right from the 3 Candyman movies into Candyman because we want to give people time to see the movie. So it may be a week or 2.
Oh, we have to discuss off air. We'll discuss what to do about my week and a half vacation. We'll figure out.
You just won't take it.
Oh, okay.
You'll just do it from. So next week's movie is Girl on the Third Floor. Is it The Girl on the Third Floor or just Girl on the Third Floor? Which stars Phil Brooks, a.k.a. CM Punk. It's a horror movie. Eric's seen it. I have not. So I'm looking forward to it. And it is watchable on Netflix.
Yep.
And so it is a CM Punk movie that he actually starred in. He is the lead, the headliner. Well, he's not the titular character because that's the girl on the third floor.
No, but he is the
But he's the dude on the third floor.
Yes, he is the dude dealing with the girl on the third floor.
I'm the dude.
That's in the trailer. You're the dude dealing with the girl on the third floor.
I am that dude. So that's next week's main event.
I also think I'll tease for those of you who listen to We Enjoy Wrestling. We'll talk more. I think we'll talk candidly about the fact that we're in Vegas and going to a wrestling show at not the ideal time, and that how we navigating that.
Making it go down more easily is that Eric and I. We won't be among the rabble.
No, yeah.
We won't be among we'll be in the press area, which we'll say it on the podcast, but isn't a common thing to happen at a SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But it's just because this SummerSlam's at a bigger arena than most SummerSlams usually are. All right, moving on. Getting out of wrestling here is okay. Let's talk about the Eternals trailer. Mm-hmm. Something which I have harshly lambasted.
Anti-Eternals Fowler.
First of all, I'm such a mark, I can't be anti-anything MCU.
Sure.
It just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't bubble me stew when I first saw it. The Eternals trailer, the full... Are we going to get another one, you think?
They called it final trailer. However...
It's so plot-light.
There's always... Yeah, and it seems weird to call it final trailer when the movie is still November, and there's almost always usually something, within the last month. I mean, there'll be a bunch of TV ads, too, of course.
Yeah, but, people... I still don't know what this movie's about.
Yeah, we still don't know, they talk about the emergence and whatnot, but we don't have specifics. We don't have who they're fighting.
All I know is that a few people thought Bucky was in the movie because of the combination of Robb Stark and Jon Snow and just that look. And people were like, then some people were like, "Is that Galactus?"
Because the Celestial.
So then there's already Galactus confusion.
Yeah,
because this is not new characters being introduced from someone else, like a Yelena in a Black Widow movie,
right?
Or Sylvie in a Loki TV series, or using an established character to launch a new character. These are just new characters. This is, I don't know if the first, Captain Marvel. Even that had Nick Fury, but this feels very Captain Marvel-y.
Even Shang-Chi has, shown you a glimpse of Wong in the trailers, so it's like there's something familiar there to connect to. Whereas this is going to be, brand new as far as we know. Again, there's always room for surprise cameos.
Yeah, so Captain Marvel still had Nick Fury, Coulson, and Ronan and the Kree that were somewhat introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy. The concept of the Kree were we didn't actually see Kree except for Ronan.
Right.
He was just like the outlaw rebel Kree.
Kree had been used more on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actually than in the movies themselves.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, but there was a whole Kree season.
There was the Kreesin.
The Kreesin. Reason for the Kreesin was Kree. And so I guess that Galactus guy that people thought was Galactus, but he had too many robot eyes, was Arishem the Judge.
Well, he's one of the Celestials for sure. There's some controversy around which. All right. Yeah.
The Celestials, Eric, are older than the Elders, right?
I think so.
Are they the oldest? Are they Ground Zero?
How
old are the Watchers?
I don't know. And then I thought, isn't Galactus from the galaxy before, pre-Big Bang? He was
I'm the dude before the dudes.
And I could be wrong about that too. So there's a lot of old, ancient beings in Marvel.
Okay, so I don't even think in the movies they made a big deal out of connecting Collector to Grandmaster and Ego.
They've not directly done that. They've done it in Easter eggy ways. If you go on the Guardians ride at California Adventure at Disneyland, you will see a painting of the Collector and the Grandmaster together, who have not appeared in the movies together. But it's oh, look, these characters have a connection besides the fact that eccentric actors play them.
Yes.
Which is why I want Christopher Walken to play an Elder of the Universe at some point.
He should be Galactus.
He should be Galactus.
He should be older than all of them. So, the Celestials are the oldest, if not one of the oldest, beings, sentient life forms in the universe. And this isn't even in the trailer. I know very little about the Eternals, so of course, you go online and you look up stuff. But they created both the Eternals, our heroes of the movie, and the Deviants, who were created for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just for fun.
and then call them deviants. I mean, I feel like you're setting them up to fail.
Right.
And I guess Crow is the head deviant, like the leader of the deviants, maybe the villain of the movie. I don't know who else crosses over into this movie that we know. It would be really weird to have a movie full of all new people.
It would be weird, but, I mean, they did it. Ant-Man did it. It had the Falcon cameo, but that was, I think, kept a surprise.
It also had Peggy at the beginning.
Yeah, but it was just, again, there'll be something like that in this movie, I'm sure. But Ant-Man wasn't promoted with anyone we knew, I guess is my point.
Yeah. This looks like it'll try to be funny, but maybe not quite succeed. I'm just going by the trailer. Mm-hmm. This was better, obviously. It was more, had action. It still isn't the best in my eyes. The deviants look a little like bad CG to me. Whatever that creature was that was coming out of the water, I assume was this version of a deviant. Mm. I'm going to go see it. I'll see all these movies. Whether I see it multiple times, I'm not sure, but we'll find out. It's a great cast. It not only does it introduce the Eternals, but also Black Knight.
Yeah.
So it's a completely separate hero and character from the Eternals, played by Kit Harington.
Although in the comic books, he did have a relationship with Cersei, played by Gemma Chan, which it sounds like this movie.
He's the one. That's who he's talking to in the trailer.
Yeah. And they did, because they did. This week was the big launch of like Eternal stuff in the EW cover story, and they talked about this kind of a love triangle between Robb Stark and Jon Snow.
Bizarre love triangle. Like
yes,
New Order?
Because Icarus and Cersei were together for centuries, no longer. And now she's got this this human dude that she's hooking up.
And Robb Stark is Icarus.
Yes.
Okay, and then she likes Jon Snow. Okay.
Yes.
And Kit Harington actually does get the lines of that. Why didn't you guys help us with Thanos? Why didn't you guys help us with anything?
Well, this trailer. I mean, because the teaser had that one line at the end about now that Iron Man and Captain Rogers aren't around, but otherwise, was so divorced from anything MCU. This trailer has multiple lines about Thanos. It asks the question a lot of people have both asked directly or joked about, which is, where the hell were these guys, these super powerful ancient beings? Where were they when Thanos showed up? And this, they directly talk about that in the trailer. So much more, rooting it. As someone who agreed that the teaser was very ho-hum, although it wasn't as negative as you, I really dug this trailer. I thought, this looks pretty to me. Like, this definitely has some very cool visuals, a very epic feel to it.
This was like when you first saw the cow fly by in the Twister trailer.
Yes.
Yes.
It was cool to see, Icarus, who, is, sort of Superman-esque with his flight and his rays out of his eyes. That we haven't really seen that in the MCU. That was cool to see. I really dug this trailer, and I thought it was much stronger than the teaser. As far as both selling something that looks really cool, but also very purposefully being like, this is part of the MCU, guys. You're gonna want to see what's going on, and the fact that they're like, the emergence happened when people came back, like the Hulk snap that brought everyone back.
But then also that paired with that, the visual is something falling to Earth,
right, and
crashing down, creating this giant event that's going on. So people came back, it drew something to Earth, maybe, I don't know, but I will say after the last 2 years it'll be a little more of a stretch, a little harder sell for me to buy how much they love humans. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, we love them so much. Humans are great. I'm like, are they?
Right.
Not quite. Granted, they had a very different last 2 years than we did over in the MCU.
They did.
So, another thing, and I'm just also overall nervous about this movie. Nothing's going to sink the MCU, but I feel like, and it's a completely apples oranges situation because it was Marvel Television, and it was a bad show. Like, it was actively bad, the Inhumans.
Yeah.
But just like the full-on introduction of a new group. Not like new characters who assemble into a group, like an Avengers,
Yeah.
and eventually, but the Inhumans. Now, granted, Guardians worked, and that was something else, but it was also them all finding each other
Yeah.
and meeting up, and therefore us being introduced to them at the same time, rather than going into an established group.
And about half the number. It's like 5 versus
That's
10.
a lot.
Yeah.
Also, and I'm not saying the movie won't be like this, but I was very surprised that none of the very spare wisecrackery lines in this trailer came from Kumail Nanjiani. Like,
Right.
if anyone I look to for comic relief in this movie, it would be him. It would be really funny if it wound up he was the stoic,
Deadly-
super serious.
Deadly serious, yes.
Okay.
Joke.
Okay. So yeah, better outing for the Eternals with their new full length trailer that we still don't believe is the final one, despite it saying the final one. Star Trek V wasn't the final frontier.
Jason final
four-
chapter and
four
final
was
Friday.
not. Yeah, Final Friday was not the final Friday. Final chapter was not. But since we were talking about Chicago legends earlier,
That's right.
this is we enjoy.
This is who should have come out.
This is really who should have come out.
on AEW.
Like, instead of cult of personality, they should have been like, sometimes you can't be sure of anything anymore.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, Punky Brewster!
And the
Punky
audience
Brewster!
starts crying.
Oh no!
Every time.
I turn around,
Du-du-du.
I see the girl.
Oh,
who turned
victory
all
and
over.
pyro.
But then Alan comes out. So this is I'm not going to say it's like a deep dive because it was only our first episode and we're only like 30 episodes deep into this.
Oh, we're
but-
way less than that, I think, right?
No, we're on 30.
Oh, we're 30?
Yeah.
I guess how many weeks in a year? Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
What is time?
Sure.
Time, like I said. So, the first ever, no, second episode. First was Pride of the X-Men.
Yes.
Second, no wait,
Wait?
was first anything?
We had an intro or something. We had to tell people what we were doing. So I think, did we do like a, here's what we're doing?
Maybe we talked about WandaVision.
Yes! I think that's
And
it.
then the next week was Pride of the
Yes.
X-Men. And then after that were 2 special episodes, or just episodes, of Punky Brewster.
Yeah.
The Punky Brewster revival, I was going to say reboot, but revival on Peacock has been canceled. So, chalk another one up to the North Side Stalker. Again, very different than the North Shore Strangler,
Yes.
Charles Lee Ray. Mm-hmm. The North Side Stalker claims another victim because that show is no more.
And the big takeaway here...
It's because Soleil Moon Frye is AEW.
She is AEW. I tweeted about, because I think I said this when the show premiered. It was weird to me they were doing it. Saved by the Bell I understood, because Saved by the Bell had managed to become a multi-generational series that a lot of kids had watched from different eras. It played.
It also aired later. Punky Brewster was like 84.
Yeah,
Like,
but even, Saved by the Bell started 5 years later. It's just that Saved by the Bell was inescapable for a good 15 to 20 years of cable TV. So it's like, kids way later were still watching Saved by the Bell. Punky Brewster did not have this giant syndicated afterlife. It did not have that kind of footprint. Kids of the 80s remembered it, and it was a big show briefly, but it just didn't...
the flames that burn twice as bright burn only half as long.
Yes. But whereas I could see Saved by the Bell being like, oh, this is a show that can appeal to, many different ages because they watched it. Punky Brewster was, if you had any connection to it, you were from the 80s, and this show was a sequel series. It wasn't like a reboot, here's a new little girl playing Punky. So it was a hard sell anyway. And then B, I just tweeting this out, it was very clear very quickly based on the reactions. A lot of people didn't know this show existed at all, and if they knew that it was in development, they didn't realize that it actually premiered. Tons of people were surprised to find out that this was a show that had aired in the year 2021. That's a problem across the board, of course. We talk about it all the time and how there's too many shows and you can't keep track of them. But for this one, which was done because of the nostalgia, because some people would remember that title, the fact that people were like, that aired? That's a problem. If messaging, if you can't let people, if people just didn't even know you existed. So pour one out for Punky.
Yeah, Cherry is also all elite.
Yes,
So-
yeah. But Alan is WWE.
Yeah, Alan is Impact Wrestling. I feel like
Margot is...
yeah, and
Ring
we
of
were also
Honor.
mentioning that like
New
this
Japan.
was Punky Brewster. The revival came at the debut of Peacock. It was one of the like
Few weeks after.
Yeah, right when that thing launched, and I remember it was still in the throes of the pandemic, pre-vaccine, I believe.
Yep.
And it was, all the junkets were just done on Zoom, and I don't know, just flew under the radar at that point. Everyone was just probably losing their minds and not caring about that stuff at that point. Peacock still, I mean, we use it obviously also for WWE at this point because the network is no more. But what's their biggest thing? Peacock.
I mean...
I liked Girls 5 Eva a lot.
That is the one that I feel has gotten them the most buzz, even though it's still a quiet buzz.
I think everything's a quiet buzz
Yeah.
right now for them. So, yeah, they don't have... and again, they don't also have... and I'll talk about this right now. The next news story before we get into... No, I don't even think a lot of people wrote in this week if they did, but we're going to skip that segment of this part.
Because it's narco sleepy time.
It is narco sleepy. But yeah, they don't have a big thing, and they don't have like deep pockets of like superheroes to like tap into, like an HBO Max or something like that.
Right.
So speaking of HBO Max, it was reported by Collider and Cinelinx. I don't even know who that is. That right now, it looks like Misha Green, who just had her series Lovecraft Country canceled over on HBO,
And then get a bunch of Emmy nominations a few days later.
and then get a shit ton of Emmy nominations all across the board, acting, writing, all that stuff. Is going to be working on a Black Canary solo movie for HBO Max where Journey Smollett would reprise her role as Black Canary from Birds of Prey.
Yep. Now it's a little unsubstantiated. You said Collider, which would be I know Collider very well because the site first breaking it I'd not heard of, so I'm a little hesitant to say this is a for sure thing, but I hope it is.
Well, that's why I'm like, I don't know that if it was just Cinelinx or whatever that place is that sounds like a mall cinnamon bun vendor that also sells hot dogs.
Sure.
I probably wouldn't have reported it, but yeah, Collider, unless they're just sort of like actually piggybacking off of a questionable source. But yeah.
Well, we hope it's true. Let's just say that. Hope it's true. That sounds cool. I'd be for that. Birds of Prey is great, and if we keep getting some follow-ups to it, despite the DCEU struggles.
And is this a story Cinelinx just made up because doing press rounds for Lovecraft Country, Green and Smollett both said they'd love to work together on a Black Canary series? I don't know. But, yeah, because people just make up... People have done that. They were just doing that with the Suicide Squad.
Okay, this I think this is how we know it's for real.
Okay.
Journey Smollett tweeted after this started people talking about it. Guess the canary is out of the cage. So excited to finally embark on this adventure with my creative soul sis Misha Green. So
okay, well, why are people crediting her and not
No. I mean, I think what happened is that outlet was the one that broke it, and then because she did guess it's out. It's like she.
I'm just saying, Collider should update their story.
No, they did. What I'm looking at, they do mention it down below. They
Okay.
do. They said they reached out to HBO Max, who wouldn't say anything, but that. Yeah, 5 hours ago she tweeted about it.
Well, good. Now I don't feel bad about bringing it up because it might not be true.
I think, if she is saying it...
But, the deal could also just fall apart, Eric.
Oh, yeah, a million things. They also will have to deal with the fact that it is very bad optics, as much as everyone's talking about streaming is the future, that right now all of the DCEU movies that they are saying are going straight to HBO Max with no theatrical... which include Batgirl and Blue Beetle and now Black Canary, are people of color. Like the leads, like the lead hero. And so that has been a weird thing because it's multiple in a row. Also,
that holds true if you consider the Gotham PD. That's a series, though.
Yeah.
With Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
as
Well, I think
probably
the
the lead.
series you put aside because series
This
is
is a series, not a
yeah.
movie.
But if this ends up being a movie, which it sounds like it most likely is, it will be. That's another discussion. It did leap out to many people, myself included. That aside, I look forward to seeing Journey Smollett return as Black Canary. And Misha Green writing it. That's awesome.
Birds of Prey. I have a from Super Yaki, a Birds of Prey Best Picture shirt. Did I bring it, or did I bring a different Super Yaki shirt? I definitely brought a Super Yaki shirt to this trip. That's for sure. All right. Moving on, skipping past any tweets we may have gotten, any messages on Patreon, and anything emailed to weenjoypodcast@gmail.com. You can follow Eric and myself over on Twitter at @TheMattFowler and @TheEricGoldman. And over on Patreon, for a few bucks a month, you can get a completely commercial, advertisement-free version of this podcast with no interruptions whatsoever, except for my customary interruption of Eric. Okay.
Yes.
I will do my good thing to enjoy first, because I don't even know if you've settled on one yet.
Oh, crap, I didn't. All right.
So you don't even have to listen to me speak. Okay. My good thing to enjoy that I recommend this week is called The Other Two. It is a very funny series that's only one season deep, but its new season starts next Thursday on August 26th on HBO Max. Now, the original series was on Comedy Central, and that aired. That was way back in early 2019.
Right.
Then obviously the pandemic and everything happened. I didn't even know that this got renewed until very recently.
And this was, this strange thing where Comedy Central has 99% gotten out of live action comedy, original live action comedy, with the exception of Awkwafina's show. Everything else was either canceled or sold off, or
I think
moved.
The Other Two and Nora from Queens were kind of around the same time, like
yes.
they were airing.
But Nora from Queens is back this week, whereas the Other Two has moved again to a sister outlet.
It's on HBO Max, and it was created by Chris Kelly and Sarah Schneider, who are both former Saturday Night Live writers. Mm-hmm. And it is very funny. I believe in 2019 it was in my top 20 shows of the year. I couldn't remember or to tell you what number it was. I'll say middle.
Sure.
But it is about the older two siblings, played by Drew Tarver and Helene York, of a 13-year-old YouTube breakout sensation. So their younger brother, who's only, 13 years old, had a hit pop song on YouTube and became an Insta star. His name's Chase. He goes by Chase Dreams. And it's about the older two siblings who are both struggling performers in their own way. Like, his older brother, played by Drew, wants to be an actor, and his older sister Brooke is an ex-failed dancer, and they're struggling, and it's like waiters and like drifting around. And so what it's like for them to have their younger brother like stumble into like such like outlandish stardom, and then their mom is played by SNL's Molly Shannon, and she is also like just gets on board with Chase's gravy train in not in like a malicious way, but like she's camera ready. She's like Hollywood ready. Like she starts getting her own book deals, so she starts becoming successful in her own way, like with a talk show and stuff. And Ken Marino's in it as his manager, and Wanda Sykes is in it, and it's just really funny, and I recommend it. And you don't have much to catch up on because as it's one season so far, just 10 episodes, which you can see on HBO Max, and then you can catch up in time for the new season, or just watch whenever, because it's not very much.
I saw the first couple episodes of the show a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed it, and then other stuff.
Yep.
So
other stuff is a bitch.
But
other
knowing it's on HBO Max
everything.
helps. So I will try to go back and watch it. I'm just gonna recommend something that I recently recommended on SJU because we were doing great TV shows based off movies, and it's funny because other people had grabbed ones I would have done otherwise, like Buffy and Friday Night Lights. So I wasn't left with the dregs. I was left with just really cool stuff that I wouldn't have gone to first. So I'm gonna just recommend a show that if you listened to Channel Surfing 10 years ago, you definitely heard me recommend a bunch. But I'll recommend Nikita. Because Maggie Q's on my mind because she's got a new movie out this weekend. The Protege. Nikita being, let me get this right, 1, 2, 3, was it the fifth?
Fifth was a shorter season.
No, I'm saying the fifth version of the story Nikita because there's the movie La Femme Nikita, the French movie, Point of No Return, the American version, La Femme Nikita, the TV show that was on USA, and then Nikita, this show, which is the fourth show.
The USA show was Peta... I'm trying to think who played her in that.
Wilson?
Peter Wilson.
Yeah. It ran for 4 years in the CW, and the fourth season was super truncated because it was 6 episodes coming off of 22-episode seasons. But my main thing was just being happy they got a fourth season. They got closure, because there's so many shows, obviously, that just end with no closure, and we would take some sort of wrap-up. It's a really cool show that was on the wrong network at the wrong time, because it debuted kind of in the middle of Gossip Girl era CW. They had not gone into superhero stuff yet. Smallville was just ending, and they had not kind of redone themselves. It was much more about the teen soap era. So it was,
and like Supernatural still wasn't superhero-y or like
no, and Supernatural was its own thing too. It's like what the brand of the network was, and this was a show that really stood out. I remember at the time because it wasn't about high school age characters. You know, Lindsay Fonseca's character is the youngest, and she still wasn't like a high school girl. She is a trained assassin. And it was sort of a sequel series because having the fact that there had been so many La Femme Nikitas before, they decided to have this one be Nikita, who's already left the organization that had trained her.
Yeah, it picks up after the movie.
Yes, so it's not strictly a sequel to the movie because it's, you know, there's discrepancies.
What was the USA series like? Was it not a sequel to the movies?
I think it was doing its own thing as well, like starting from the beginning, like her being trained, yeah. But it was a really cool show with really cool action, really fun cast. Candyman's own Xander Berkeley, I think I mentioned when we talked about Candyman, as the main villain when it started off. Lots of twists and turns. The pilot has like a cool reveal about what's really going on and what's kind of the actual scenario of the show that I thought was a fun way to begin things. Really dug it, and it was always under the radar, but kept trucking along. And again, it's funny to think that just 10 years ago we were still in an era where a show like that was doing 22-episode seasons. So there's still almost 70 episodes of that show. There's still more Nikita than most Netflix shows we'll ever see. You know?
That's true. I echo Eric's sentiment about Nikita. It also has Shane West and Devon Sawa, and like you said, Lindsay Fonseca, who... you would also know from Agent Carter, and she's actually on the new Turner and Hooch.
She is. Lots of Disney stuff. Actually, 73 episodes. So
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot. And so that's right. They did 23 episode season 2. It is on CW Seed, which has ads, but can be watched for free. And I highly recommend it. It's fun, fast paced. Cool action. What more do you need?
CWC is still a bad name.
It is.
For that service. Just wanted to add that at the end.
Sure.
Okay, Eric, how quickly can we talk about Candyman Day of the Dead?
All right. I want to go about 3 hours for this.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. It's my own fault. We should have done this in the car. But then we would have had to stop so we could watch CM Punk.
All right. True.
I'm just trying to make myself feel better. So, Candyman Day of the Dead. Next week, Girl on the Third Floor.
On Netflix.
Then possibly after that, the Candyman Legacy sequel, if not the week after, when Eric cancels his trip.
Yeah.
Eric cancels his long-planned trip for his birthday. Okay. So, right out of the gate, this movie sucks. It just looks bad.
Yes, I mean the cheapness permeates because the second one is a huge step down, even though it's not terrible. But they're trying, and it feels like a sequel to the first movie, even if it's an inferior sequel. This feels like this low budget. Almost, it feels like it wants to be a softcore porn, but it's not.
Well, it's lit like a softcore
it's
porn.
lit like a Cinemax movie from the 80s and 90s. Yes.
And who is this director? Like,
I forget his name. The funny thing is, he has a huge list.
Terry Meyer.
That's right. I can look at my notes because we didn't do this in the car. That's fine.
That was the other thing. I have actually printed up notes that for the car that never happened. So I could have just been in the car rustling papers the whole time.
Right. I'm sorry. What's his name again?
His name is Terry Meyer.
Okay, so it's funny. If you look at his IMDb, he has done a ton of TV, including directing episodes of Buffy, Angel, and Smallville, and wrote for Smallville, Vampire Diaries, Hawaii Five-0, Salem. He a ton of
like
stuff.
Recent series Salem.
Yes.
Okay, on WGN America.
Though
or whatever that was.
he was coming off hot.
Another Shane West series.
He got Candyman 3. I can only imagine because he wrote Chairman of the Board. And so
Wait a minute.
He's a writer on Chairman of the Board.
Well, you know who's the other writer?
I do know, yeah. Which means they didn't collaborate.
Wait a minute. So he took my friend Billy's script.
Billy's not credited on Chairman of the Board, by the way.
He's not credited on
No,
Chairman
I'm
of the Board?
looking at the IMDb page.
That's
the
bullshit.
wiki page.
I'm
That
gonna
happens
look
all the
too.
time. That happens all the time.
I think he's in Chairman of the Board at least.
He is. Oh wait, your friend is Carrot Top. I forgot.
No, Carrot Top's over at the Luxor right now. We can go see him.
We could.
Chairman of the Board.
Sorry, I really threw you off on this one.
I know. Because he also wrote Woody Woodpecker. Is he not credited with that either?
Wait, is your friend in fact Terry Meyer?
Jesus Christ. No, because Alex Zam directed it, and Billy and Alex worked together all the time. Alex Zam also directed Woody Woodpecker.
But there's so maybe he was the Joss Whedon of Speed to Chairman of the
you
Board.
think he punched up Chairman of the Board?
All the dialogue was his, but Terry Meyer was the story.
Hold on, I'm looking up Woody Woodpecker right now.
I've definitely derailed this.
See, they're written by Alex Zam and William Robertson.
Yes.
Story by William Robertson. The fact that Woody Woodpecker farts his ha 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 in that movie means that the director of Afternoon in the Park that I starred in as a wee kid is an uncrowned genius.
We gotta get back, Matt. We gotta get back to Candyman 3. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I took you down this road.
Oh my God, no. I don't even know how we got there.
Me saying this guy, that was one of his many credits. He has a lot of credits, including good TV.
All right, he made a bad looking
But he
movie.
made a bad-looking movie. I'm sure he was given a low budget, clearly, way lower budget than the first two.
Do we know it's a he?
I think so.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, I don't know, Turi. Who knows? So,
No wiki page, so it is a little hard to tell.
all right. The movie... Okay. This movie is, okay, to its credit, a good tight 90. It's a good short movie, but it felt so long. Like, I was watching this in bursts. I watched it in 20-minute bursts. I was watching all I was packing. I'm going to say, admittedly, there were times I tuned out of this movie.
Yeah.
There were times when I checked the time. I was like, we have to be going into the third act, and we were only 40 minutes into the movie.
I was doing a lot too. I was like,
It was like, how much more of this movie is there? It is not good. This movie follows. So it stars former Playmate, Baywatch star, Baywatch Night star Donna D'Errico.
Wasn't she on a poster on our wall on our bathroom?
Was she in White Thunder at Glacier Bay?
I think she was.
Or Glacier Thunder at White Bay? Is she in that movie?
I think so. I think that was her era. I'm gonna look at the.
She started in 96.
Okay.
We were roommates in 97, 98.
I think that's her. Yep. that's her.
That's Caroline McKeever.
Yes. So, by the way, it was funny. So we were talking last week about 2, and you said we'll see if they follow any of this up in the third one, and I did the we'll see because I'd seen it and you hadn't. I'd forgotten they did, Matt. I only watched this movie once before, right? Unlike the second one, I'd actually seen a couple times. This one I'd only seen once in my life, but only like 2 years ago. I had forgotten that it is a sequel. Like, it does follow the baby.
And it's crazy that you forgot that because it is kind of prominent because it's flashbacks to her mom,
Right,
in the tub,
right.
and like
New actress because Kelly Rowan didn't want to come back and be naked and bloody apparently for a bunch of
So,
time.
okay, Donna D'Errico, and maybe one of the things I'll say about this movie is she was better than I thought she was.
100. I thought the same thing.
Thank you.
No, I thought the same
I
thing. It's kind of shitty of us, but I thought when I watched it for the first time a couple years ago, I thought, oh, and she'll be terrible, just because I did have the
I
preconceived.
didn't think she was terrible.
She's good. There's a couple times where she's bad, but it's because she's given thankless stuff to do, like screams and yells, like anguish, like moments that are really cheesy. But her performance, for the most part, is a very solid performance. As she runs around the movie in a tank top with no bra the entire time.
It is a fully braless third act of this movie that I think is the most glaring when she's like walking up to David's daughter.
Yeah.
Like, where's my dad after Candyman takes David at the end, and she's just like, just full tits McGee coming at this little girl, like with no bra.
And where's my dad and where's your bra?
First of all, it can be in whatever order you choose to answer. I don't care what you tell me first. Where's Dad? Where's Brazier? I don't care. Okay. The movie looks bad. Already she's in like panties and her like night shirt.
Yeah.
And she's meant to look like a sexy playmate.
Yeah.
And based on the first movie and our conversation about how non-traditional Virginia Madsen was as a horror movie heroine, and that the scene of nudity in that movie was so like not meant to be sexy at all because it was like a police strip search, and it was just meant to be sort of unsettling and disturbing.
To be totally fair, there's two because she's also in the bathtub at one point, which definitely doesn't need to be there. But yes, that one scene where the strip search scene is completely takes away any like ooh boobies.
And then in this movie we've just got bees on tits constantly, because not only are there flashbacks to her mom, who is like maybe echoing like, oh, here's a unsettling nudity because she's dead and bloody, but then there's the flashbacks of Candyman and the original Caroline, like having sex or just having you know intimate naked time, and then there's her friend, her artist gallery friend, and his model hooking up.
Yes.
And she's just in a G-string topless,
Yeah.
covered with bees. So it's very different than the first two in that regard.
Yep.
Along with the look of it being cheap, and then the opening credits are even meant to sort of kind of try to be sexy.
Yeah.
Like bloody hooks, but like done like sensual skin with trip hop music, and it's just a different vibe to this movie altogether.
Not only did Philip Glass didn't come back, I'm sure they couldn't afford him, but they do not use the theme.
Well,
Damn
it's
it!
a shame because this had been the movie he'd loved the most.
He watched this one and he's like, "Why didn't you ask me?"
This is the one that's closest to
I
his
would have done
vision.
this one for free.
Yeah, he's like, I have like 20 scores laying around you could have used for this.
Right.
So, okay. They don't really go... It's going to bug someone like me and someone like Eric a little more than anyone, especially the makers of this movie, but this is the little girl from the end of Farewell to the Flesh,
Yes.
grown up
Yes.
in what we assume is a 20-year time jump. Wiki does say it takes place in the... This was made in 99, or came out in 99.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the year 2020, so for us last year, they don't...
Did they say that?
No, but they don't say the year, but if we do the math...
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say, because Donna D'Errico was 31 when she made this movie. That's fine. She could be playing 25. But yeah, 1995, Farewell to the Flesh came out, which has a time jump at the end because Caroline is now like 5 years old. She's not a baby at the end of that movie. So, yeah, it feels like this has to be at least 2020 that this is set in.
But there's no title that says 2020.
No.
There's no attempt to make this a future Demolition Man style world. It's not meant... There's no dystopia going on. There's no modern technology. It's all just regular, as usual, racist LA cops in Boyle Heights, run-of-the-mill stuff. So They just want you to go with the fact that this is now the little girl grown up.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the rest of the era or anything else you see. And the mirror didn't work. I mean, this is a horror series. However they defeat the villain at the end is just not going to stick.
Yeah.
And they come up with... I am fading fast. They come up with a new...
Matt's gone.
Basically, they come up with a new way, his new weakness. New artifacts, new items connected to Candyman, which are Daniel Roboto's original paintings. Which...
Turns out to include nudes.
No, but are also not paintings. They're just photographs.
Right.
They're just... You look at those... Like him... First of all, he did one of himself.
Yeah.
But also, they just
Self-portrait.
took photographs and put some weird thing on them to make them look like paintings.
I know.
So there's a point in the movie where she's yelling at her friend Miguel, who owns this art gallery in Boyle Heights. Which Boyle Heights, obviously real place. It was filmed in Boyle Heights. The movie. It's where the temple was for Lucha Underground.
Huh? That's funny.
But it's funny because that's where they filmed it. But also, when you watch Lucha Underground, they say, we're in Boyle Heights.
Oh, all right.
So it's like they're not pretending to be anywhere else.
Look, I mean, some of the faint praise I can give this movie is at least the attempt, okay, third movie, let's once again have a new location, like, because that had been established with the first two.
New magic.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yes.
new, like Daniel's abuela is doing her own new magic.
Adding a little bit to the lore, because now they said, they chanted his name 5 times and he died on the 5th time, so that's kind of why it's 5 times.
It's still a lot.
It's still a lot. And of course they didn't even use the same footage of his death from the last one, so it's like refilmed.
No, I was happy about that. Like, because I hated that one from
Right,
the last
right.
one. So not only was I glad not to get a new full flashback scene,
Yeah.
but we got a new flashback scene that looked, I think, a little better than the cheesiness of the last one.
But by keeping it briefer.
We only got snippets of it, yeah, which is good. Less is more. So these paintings, which in the end she winds up destroying to destroy him. So new items that are connected to him that she realizes right at the last second, hey, if I destroy these things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's a point where she's upset with Miguel because he's using the Candyman urban myth, the urban legend, the lore, the boogeyman lore to draw people to the gallery to see the art. And she's like, I want him to be remembered for what he truly did. And all I could think of was like, these awful paintings? These are terrible. This is terrible, terrible artwork. It's what people should be talking about.
It's erotic nudes.
Self-portraits.
Right.
Okay. There are a lot of dream sequences. The movie starts with a dream sequence. And him sort of pre-connecting and trying to contact her before anyone around her says the name 5 times.
Right.
And that sort of goes throughout the movie. There are a lot of like jump scares that happen because she's dreaming. Oh no, my favorite, and I'm skipping all the way to the end, is after she's defeated him, and there's that dream sequence where it's like, I've won, and then his smoke comes out of the mirror.
Yeah.
Turns out she was napping in
the
the cemetery during a picnic with David and his daughter. What did she say? Like, I'm tired, I'm going to go over to...
Behind that tree and get a nap. As one does.
Why did she go on a picnic if she was so sleepy?
She just did. Look, Matt, this is a movie where a girl rubs honeycomb on her breasts. So
Why did she have that? Was that at the gallery?
I don't know.
I don't know why I'm questioning the best part of the movie.
Right.
Okay. So Miguel's her friend. She gave him the paintings. He wants to open his gallery. There are these 2 racist cops. And again, LAPD has had a long history with racist cops. I think in the 90s, though, is when it first started coming into pop culture because of Rodney King.
Yep.
And then the LA riots. And so you saw a lot more movies dealing with this in the 90s that you didn't see previously. And so these 2 bozos, in the very least, who are racist not only against Miguel, but against the character played by Ernie Hudson Jr.
Yep. Not a cop.
You know, bless Ernie Hudson Jr. playing a very Ernie Hudson Sr. role in this.
Follows in his father's steps.
As Detective Jamal Matthews. They're racist to him.
Yeah.
They're just awful all over.
She's a piece of ass. Like,
yeah, they're misogynistic.
Yeah.
They're racist. So, in the very least, we know that two people are gonna fucking die who deserve it in this movie and die horribly.
And one of them gets a very cool death, I thought. I shouldn't say very cool, but a fun death with the hook through the mouth in the car.
Yes, and also a decent jump scare. Like when she's trying to crawl across him and he's still alive somehow. Okay. So now we get into the whole thing, and this is an ongoing conversation that started with the first movie, of what Candyman's deal is as Candyman.
Right.
Which is, he wanted Helen because Helen was the reincarnation of Caroline.
First Caroline, yeah.
Right. He wanted her to die with him so that she, I could get behind that. I want you eternally with me. I don't want you in the land of the living. You should be a boogeyman like me. On top of that, he also has a thing of like, if people stop believing in me, I get pissed off and I need to make them believe in the Candyman myth again. So there's that whole other side of that too.
Yeah.
So in the first movie, those two things sort of collided. It worked out for him very well that the woman who was making people not believe in him and want him to come back was also the woman who was the reincarnation of his true love.
Right.
It was very coincidental. Second movie, down in New Orleans, he's after a descendant of his daughter. You know, Caroline was pregnant, gave birth to the daughter after he was killed. This is the family line, descendant of his daughter. We never figured out why he wanted her to die.
Right.
Just be with me. And so the same thing holds true. We've got her daughter all grown up.
Yeah.
Why does he want to kill her? And so there were a few lines of dialogue.
And they also make him a little more incestuous-y with her.
Well, he kisses her.
Yeah. But also even, like he kisses her, he's just caressing her. Unlike, was it Annie? Yeah, Annie in the second one. And this, he seems creepy. He's being a creepy uncle with this Caroline. Maybe because she has the same name as his dead lover. It's not good.
All right.
We should mention.
I'm trying to look for the quotes that he said.
I did think it was funny that although he later on in the movie it changes, but at first he keeps saying to her, "Believe in me," because in the first movie it's "Be my victim," and the second movie is "Be my witness." And this time it's just "Believe in me," but later on he comes back to "Be my victim." But
they all have the word
"be." Ooh. And then he comes back to "Be my victim" later in this one.
He does. He says that again. And a lot of things that were said in the first movie were also sort of reiterated in this.
And then all three have "Sweet to the Sweet."
So he said... So she winds up saying his name on a weird dare. Mm-hmm. Right? To who? Who did she say
Was it her roommate? The actress?
Maybe. Fuck. I don't remember. Again, I zoned out.
I don't think it was David.
But he's like, you doubted me, and yet you call my name. And isn't that why anyone calls his name? Because they don't think it's true?
Right, they don't think he's going to show up.
Like, nobody thinks it's real.
Except for the goth people. That group,
That's
cult.
true.
They do want him to show up.
Well, he should have been nicer to them. They didn't doubt him.
That's right.
And then, something that was never, I don't think, said. Maybe it was said outright in the first movie. I think it was. But it, again, repeated here, I'm going to kill everyone around you, make your life miserable so that you'll want to die and be with me.
Right.
There's no other recourse, no other decision to make. And he says, you have to choose to do this. So it's almost like, I can't kill you.
Right.
You have to surrender to me. He says that. You have to surrender to me, talk of death, and, be my victim. Like, you have to... It's never made fully clear, so we have to really piece all this together ourselves.
Right.
But the fact that he kills everyone around them to the point where he wants them to join him because there's no other avenue for them to explore in life, that's a big deal to Candyman. I'm wondering what the new movie is going to do. I wonder how they're going to change things. Just from the trailer, there's no talk of him being killed and covered with bees and his hook. It's the cops who kill him. Like, if you look at the new trailer,
right.
There was a guy who was handing out candy with razor blades in it, and the cops beat him and cut off his hand.
Yeah, but I mean, I can say what I think is happening.
It's just different versions of the story.
Yeah, I think it's that Daniel Robitaille happened, but now, because this movie is, and it's coming out in the year 2021, and it's, reflect that and the fact that, like, other people might have purposely evoked Candyman, other people have just, been sacrificial, people killed in the same horrible way, for being black in America. And I also assume, based on the trailers, that he is trying to turn the main guy into the new Candyman.
Oh, no, that I get.
But I think that those other people are not replacing, because I know that there is some trailers that have brought up, like, the Daniel Robitaille stuff or some clips. So I think it's like that still happened, but now it's like generations have passed and these other people kind of taking what the first movie did and, extrapolating on people who have become Candyman, whether it's because they wanted that reputation or just because something horrible happened to them, and it's a similar thing that kind of continues the talk of him.
So why do we know what Caroline does for a living? She lives in this really dilapidated looking warehouse in the middle of nowhere with her actress roommate.
Right. I don't know if we do, because, she's not working on the art gallery.
So she's just like... And again, you mentioned this at the beginning of this whole series of how, like, each movie is just a blonde white woman
going into... And the third one I forgot is not another black neighborhood. It's changed it to Latino. Going into...
So it's like, she's just this, free-spirited, blonde white woman, like, walking around Boyle Heights.
Right.
Like, and everyone... I don't know. She didn't do anything.
Yeah.
At least the second movie, she was a teacher.
Right. Yeah, not sure what exactly her career is. We should mention that David, it kind of, it starts out and Miguel's very prominent. I do enjoy that David's intro is a fake out with him because he has this cheesy thing, he's screaming during the art gallery thing, but it turns out it's supposed to be cheesy because he was hired by Miguel. But he's played by Nick Corey, who is best known as Rod Lane in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Has actually gone back to his real name, which is Sue Garcia, J-S-U, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, Garcia, since this, but was still credited as Nick Corey at the time. So this is his other prominent horror franchise role.
So it was weird. You already brought up the random third act goths.
Yeah.
That, like...
well, they're a little bit at the beginning, I think. Aren't they at the gallery thing?
They're part of they're the gang that did the robbery.
Yeah.
But just like as a full side story that lasts very briefly of them, like
because it feels like that could be its own movie, like
people trying to summon a Candyman, who worship the Candyman. But in this movie, really are just used for extra bodies. Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah, dude, he kisses his like great granddaughter with a mouthful of bees again. I wonder how comfortable Tony Todd was at this point with the bees.
Because the second one is the one that he they put so many on him in the second one to film that stuff.
I still miss that first movie jacket.
Oh yeah.
Why didn't they?
I don't know. Yeah.
Is this the second movie jacket, or is it just another?
No, I think it's
jacket?
a different one. They need that first movie jacket. It's
back for the new movie though.
I think so. It's so cheap looking and cheesy feeling, and even though the second one had a couple of mid '90s CGI effects that didn't hold up, this one just really feels like they just didn't even have any friends. Like the part when he's floating to her on the subway platform, it doesn't even look like they finished it. It looks like he's like they barely even did anything.
Yeah, and Lowell at that LA subway graffiti-filled platform, looking
Yeah.
like it's from
Well,
what is that from Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, I think that was the future, because I think I brought up the fact that the subway having
that was their attempt at the future.
Yes, because I mentioned, I think when we did Speed, that L.A. had just gotten a subway in the 90s, and every movie was desperate to to throw in that we had a subway and we could get in there.
One of the big ones was Volcano, where they're like, why would you have a subway where there's active fault lines,
Yeah.
And it had the guy, I can't remember the actor's name. He's been on American Horror Story a bunch, but he was the husband in Fargo, Marge's husband.
Oh, yeah. I know
But
you're talking about.
the scene in Volcano when he disintegrates trying to save somebody, remember that?
That's right.
He's like carrying someone and walking, but his legs are melting in the lava.
Oh, we should watch that. It's so funny this came out in 99, because it just doesn't even feel like 99. We're in the thick of like the post Scream era, and this doesn't feel like that, but it doesn't feel like a good Candyman sequel. So it's just like, just doing its own.
And Tony Todd said he didn't like this movie, right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Hey, Tony Todd got it.
Again, I've already mentioned that I zoned out at points during this movie, or just doing errands where I wouldn't look up. But then I looked up at one point in the third act, and she's actively trying to get to these paintings to like destroy them and stuff. Where all these bones come from? There's like skeletons.
Oh, there's
and bones.
so many.
The skeletons and bones everywhere. Who is that?
I don't know if I missed something too. That is so random.
Did we tune out, look away at the wrong part, or
he's like, "Oh, this is where I've killed 50 people." I don't know. It's really strange.
Is that just Los Angeles?
Oh yeah, that's right. We have all the skeletons. I forgot.
It's the bone district.
I liked the it was creepy, and the blood is in the egg, and then the bee crawls out of the blood. I will say, on the surface, there is a core element where I'm like, well, someone at one point at least had a couple of thoughts of like, okay, let's make sure we have a new location. Let's actually make a sequel to the second one and follow her, this new Caroline, as an adult. I appreciate that was at least talked about rather than it being totally standalone. And I even appreciate that the idea that they seem to be trying to end a trilogy at the end. Like, he's destroyed, and then the cop, I'm the Candyman, conveniently.
No, yeah, he gets killed and framed for it. So
framed, and she seems to believe that no one will ever, because of that, now he is forever the Candyman, and no one will ever just say it 5 times, which is a stretch. But it seems like, again, on some piece of paper somewhere, they had some ideas that I could see, if done completely differently, might have been interesting. Because I'm like, oh, it is interesting that it actually kind of tries to like do a wrap up here at the end, with still, of course, having a little scare at the end. But none of it works. Donna D'Agerico does the best she can, and there's
And I'll say this: there's a point in the movie where you think you're gonna get an actual Donna D'Agerico sex scene,
right,
and part of me was bummed, and part of me was like, and then part of me too was like, is this to the film's credit? That they actually interrupt that right before it starts with her like imagining Candyman instead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that's when she and David are there, and she's like, I can't be alone, and I'm like, oh, this does sound like a softcore Cinemax movie,
Yeah, and then there's the part when the Goths have her and they put a ball gag in her mouth.
Yeah, no, and she's tied to a chair. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The part where, because I was saying how I think she does a good job, but there's a couple things that she's bad just because there are bad moments when she yells, "Now you burn in hell!" when she picks up the hook. But my notes include things like just no bras for Caroline and the rat in the brains.
The rat in the brains. What was that?
That was when he kills the Goss. I think there's a rat that like crawls over the guy's exposed brain. If I recall correctly. And so, that's the end of the original Candyman trilogy, going out with a whimper, sadly. I was thinking also, Matt, the 90s are a funny time because the 90s were a very down time for horror, like coming off the 80s glut, and the early 90s especially. It's like all the franchises kind of died off. And so I was thinking how it's funny that in the 90s, unless I'm blanking on something, and there might be some straight-to-video things I'm blanking on, but Chucky, because Chucky had 2 movies so close together with 2 and 3 in 90 and 91, and then Bride was in 98, Chucky and Candyman are the only 2 I can think of that had 3 entries in the 90s. All 3 of the Candyman movies were in the 90s. But, like, because there was 2 Halloween movies, 1 Friday the 13th movie, 2 Elm Streets, 2 Elm Streets? 1 Elm Street. I'm sorry.
In the 90s? Yeah.
No, 2. Freddy's Dead and New Nightmare. But yeah, so it was such a down time for these series. Scream started up at the end of the decade and had 2 of them. But Candyman had his entire story in the 90s until now. Until it came back.
Eric, I'm still laughing about the rat in the brain. Why don't you tell...
Why
don't you tell everyone why, when you were interning, post-production interning for a film called Town and Country, you had the nickname Half B.
I will. Okay, I was an intern as a production assistant. My British boss would say, call me Eric the Half B, and I didn't know what was happening or what was being said, and I was like, what? Eric the Half B?
But didn't I tell you, though?
You elaborated on it. He did, I think, because I think I asked, and I said, what? Oh, you don't know Monty Python, Eric the Half B? And I was like, no.
To be fair, it's Half a B.
And it's Half B, but he would just sometimes call me Half B. So he'd call Eric the Half a B, but then he'd also just call me he'd call Half B.
So for those who don't know, on Monty Python, there was a song called Eric the Half a B.
Wasn't on the show, though, wasn't? I know they did it live at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
It's on that album.
So it was a song, I think Cleese sang it, Eric Idle wrote it, but it was like, fa la la fiddly dee, Eric the Half a B. Fiddly dum, fiddly dee, Eric the Half a B, and so on. I mean, there are lyrics to it as well.
I will say that when Town and Country opened, and I didn't even know if I would be. I mean, I guess it would be. I guess it would be weird if I wasn't listed in the closing credits. But I didn't work on that movie that long. But anyway, my actual screen credit in the closing credits of that movie is Eric the Half a B Goldman. And on my IMDb page, it has credited as
Half a B.
See?
I believe you. That's the Half a B. Yeah, it's not even Half a B, it's the Half B. So, anyway, the song's about a fucking bee that's a half of a bee. It's like half a bee.
And I'm half the bee I used to be. But yes, it all ties back to the bees and Candyman and Thomas J.
Thomas J.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm bringing it full circle.
Oh, well, we don't know who the bee wrangler was on Farewell to the Flesh or
the third one.
Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
If it was the same as My Girl and Candyman. They got some, janky, low-rent bee wrangler.
Anything is possible.
All right. Speaking of that, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Let's wrap this up so I can go night-night.
Yes.
So, Girl on the Third Floor next week. That wraps up Candyman for now.
We'll be back very soon with the 4th Candyman.
Eric and I are very excited about this new Candyman. It looks terrific. I'm ready to see a new iteration.
Guess what, Matt? If nothing else, I bet it'll be better than Candyman 3 Day of the Dead.
One can only hope. I don't rule it. Yeah, I think you're right in saying that. The cast is great. I'm pretty sure everyone wears a bra, male and female, in that movie. And there are bees and razor blades and hooks and... Oh, God, what's his name who's great on Fear the Walking Dead? Coleman Domingo.
Yes. Who is great in...
Did you see Zola?
Yeah, Zola. He's excellent in Zola.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
I love him. All right. Everything is possible, but nothing is real. By the way, that lyric, I've explained... I don't know if I explained it on We Enjoy, but We Enjoy Wrestling, we talked about it because it's from a Living Color song.
Yeah.
Living Color, the writers and performers of Cult of Personality, the entrance theme for CM Punk,
That's right.
who debuted on AEW this evening. Okay, so bringing it back to In Living Color. Not In Living Color, just Living Color. Everything is possible, but nothing is real. And Shakma.
Shakma.